So hello everybody, my name is William. Okay, and now today I'm going to talk about, another, what's been happening. So the UK wants to ruin YouTube, and but please sign the survey to ask UK to stop doing this. That's all I put anyway. And I will put the survey on the description box below so that you can sign this too. But you know what? I don't like this at all, because you know what? Let me get on to Twitter first of all, and then I will show you. And open the file. Okay. Alright, let's read this, okay? So, the UK government is running a public consultation called Watch This Space, a new strategic action for the UK media. The proposals include mandatory changes to how content is discovered on YouTube. This could direct access away from your channel. As a UK creator, the strike impacts your future. The digital content discovery works best. When joining switch non-legal requirements, the final window for you share this proposed share your perspective for this consultation closes on 31st of August 2026. Impact proposed rules. Proposed new rules include a mandatory performance regime. This could require digital platforms like YouTube give a privileged position of traditional broadcasters like BBC, ITV, and Channel 4 and users' interface recommendation feeds, potentially pushing your content out of sight. Mandating your traditional institutions will impact other independent digital creators, dozen companies may cost clean through. Now, download content ranked. Pushing this group forward means pushing everyone else downward. Mandatory personalization for broadcasters will affect how your content reaches your audience actually wants to see. Recommendation years is device content for independent creators. Mandating policies establish media networks to push the UK device mix and promote journalists, educators for business down the line. Now, threat to reach channel growth. Your big originally will grow community original views revenue, but field message to your businesses combines with digital content are discovered. Now, a mining business bold. The constitution rapidly revisits trust the context of legacy broadcasters, implying that digital first is credible, damaging the foundation trust sustains your content economy. Now, so that's it. So that's it anyway. And if you want to know about the survey, I'll show you. This is a survey right here. I'm not going to sign it for you. I'll do it by myself. Without doing a tutorial, because the people already did it. That's why. But we need to talk about this. That's why. You know, because I don't want the US to do this, and that's why. So, yeah, I would say is, you know, sign the survey right here, so that way. Here it says, it's a consultation part of the governments of the news and detection of UK media department of the culture, the support of DCMs, music sector television partner of the Gay for Deployment, so of our democracy. As part of the CTM Sticky News, if members, stakeholders, and set parties, regulations of our future television media in the UK. This survey covers a range of set-up watch this space screen paper, including TV show distributions in the future, whether certain sorts of content translating news should be prominent in social media and view sharing platforms, how we could serve the UK system of public service media well into the future, responding to the read of the green paper before completing the survey. We also encourage respondents to provide relevant evidence to support the response where possible. Emphasis reduction to questions. If you are responding to a member of this public on behalf of the organization, I'll mention the survey monitoring from individuals where you ask questions about you and monitoring purposes. These decisions are informed by views of the people across the range of backgrounds, experiences, and society we serve. So sections 1 are about views, audience, and context. Section 2, ask if views prominence of news, of social media. Section 3 is views of the literacy. Section 4, views about the future of TV distribution. And Section 5, ask if views about future TV regulation. Excuse me. In Section 6, we ask for your views prominence of problematic service media and platform age. And in Section 7, you ask the views about the new system of public service media. And then in Section 8, we ask for your views, quality of impacts of consultation. Responses of consultation forms a part of the evidence basis and on the future media of the UK. The UK government considered of the consultation responses alongside evidence of research, stakeholders, and views. Engage in public performance decisions. And once the consultation is concluded, the government will use its findings to inform future policy work. Completing its survey is consisting of data being provided. Please put further privacy notice or information how data will be used. And this is privacy ensure the performance and data protection standards ensure the responses do not include information that needs contact, data services, and you and others. Consultation of respondent age 16 plus due to consultations, please confirm that 16 years of age and or older before responding to this survey. Okay, so that's it anyway. So you can sign this. You can sign this survey right here. I'm not going to sign it right now. I'm not going to sign it in the video, but I'll put the link in the description box below so you can sign this anyway. But anyway, let's go back to Brave here. I know I was on Microsoft Edge before anyway, just because. So I talk about these. Well, that's Michael Gates. Yeah, make sure if you live in California, make sure you're voting for Attorney General. But let me go back to my channel. Okay. So. So I already read this, but it's right here if you want to see it. I'll put it in, and I'll put the link just below on this video too, so that we can see it right here anyway. But we need to talk about something here, so. Now, many people don't like Steve Hilton, and that's true. And you might think California does not need an outsider for governor, or you know. Well, that's what you think, but we had Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was an outsider. He was from Austria, and he became governor of California. So, I think simply needs to lead the fight against digital ID in California. That's what we need to do anyway. Because Gavin Newsom's not, and Xavier Becerra won't either, because he will have full support of the education laws. We need to lead a fight against it. The only person who can do that, who probably will do that, is Steve Hilton. Now, the question is, will Steve Hilton repeal the Digital Age Assurance Act in California? And what about the H-4 Design Code Act? So this is the law right here. The California H-4 Design Code Act. It got signed into law back in September 2022, right? So I'm asking for Steve Hilton to repeal this, right? So will Stephen repeal this? It says no it's very keen that Steve Hilton intends to appeal the California 2003. Okay. So the California goes so Hilton of its California attorney and then have attorney just suit or return it. You can overcut California's constitution. Oh, he wants to repeal the 2000 he start requiring transgender state athletes a locker room access. Well, that's fine. But there's no variation in this law, okay. Well, so that's the first law right there. But what about the Digital Age Assurance Act? Let's see. Well, Steve Hilton repeal the Digital Age Assurance Act. You gotta learn about that too. There's no information indicating that Stephen will repeal 2003 Digital Act if elected as governor. Stephen's campaign is focused on lowering taxes for donation. The point is Stephen would not continue repeal immediately for taking office. So that's just true. So 25, like yeah, I know, but yeah, 27, yeah, I know, but yeah, it's going to be in November 2002. If would be a guy needed.
There's no public record of Republican candidate Steve Hilton explicitly campaigning to repeal the DHS restriction. This governmental campaign forces uses Al-Sink and agent of its government his ability to repeal the California DHS Insurance Act would be significantly constrained. Passing a formal repeal requires moving a bill through the state legislature, where Democrats currently hold majority. Alternatively, a governor would grant legal challenges to the Attorney General office and issues all murders. The direct office is limited, so. So there's no public record. So, yeah, but he might do it. So,
I believe Steve Hilton needs California to lead the fight against digital ID. That's what I would like. That's what I would probably want from Steve Hilton if he wants to become governor of California. Anyway, and he's running as an outsider. So, anyway, that's what I can think about. Anyway, I've been calling my representatives and asking for a repeal about this law, and also the design code, and also the Age Appropriate Design Code Act as well, because I don't like these laws either, and they both need to get repealed. But it is as long as we now know about Steve Hilton anyway. But we need to learn something here. Now, we need to learn something here because Steve Hilton wants to organize both Republicans and Democrats alike. And here's why. Why do you think he's making stuff up? Alright, so Stevens speaks for Harrison Corporation permitting California's junk operating system. The Democratic administrator earns impossible to govern eventually without cross-party support. As a Republican in the state, where Democrats are holding the majorities of no GOP candidate, has won statewide office since 2006. Hilton was permitted over history of the way issues of frames on response 16 years of one-party rule and claims sovereignty of partisan solutions. He believes a combination of Democrats like Mayor Matt Mahon and former State Senator Gloria Romero, the severity of the divides of the legislation and the strong of the relationship of President Donald Trump alongside Democrat leaders benefit of financial cooperation and the zero gridlock. And Donald Trump's endorsement, Steve Hilton, writes the voter registration of crisis, aviation loyalty, students of aviation across the aisle. In this series of immigration analysis, when Trump, and it says under of, see, the public roundup against Democrat Xavier Becerra, Stephen is the edges of the voters, partisan governments are reversing California's decline. Yeah, that's why. But we need to learn something here. Stephen aims to work a while to bypass the gridlock title of the caustic particle of the partisan warfare and technology rather than its are going to give you good opportunity of the going to tax the Democratic colleagues. Mixing the good policy of one of the necessary required. The issues of border policy go together of the affordable housing and again for governor he will governor in a deeply blue state. He recognizes this beautiful change requires a copper of attitude toward the Democrat administrator in Sacramento.
he's running as a Republican. That's why. But we need to talk about his opponent. So, we need to talk about why his opponent, Xavier Becerra, will have full support of the age vacation laws in California. And that's why I believe you should not vote for him, but that's, well, I'm going to show you why. So here's why. And this is right here, it's supporting age laws. So on May 26th, it's a policy to week age vacation in California, and it says of initial backing, it says what it suggests. Yeah, but most are looking at this. So experts are fully support strict age vacation digital safety laws because it's backwards evaluation of the California Attorney General has rights for making dangerous products. So preventing harmful online exposure. See, he's on child safety regulations. Becerra aggravates policies to prevent harm children accessing explicit content, streaming magazines, and online gambling. That's why. This time, Attorney General Becerra can see challenge of this illegal site age restricted items and my privacy rights. They say enforce right of the monitor. So see, electoral policy data. So Becerra closely this would be administration of bans. As a device to device to user ages. These two focus on health and to this Becerra opposed such age gaining on the federal medical health services effects of the internet adultesis. So this guy he does have this guy Xavier Becerra or Javier, he does have full support of age vacation, and you will have full support of the age vacation laws in California. I would say not to vote for this guy. Anyway. But, anyway, let's get out of the way. That's, what about, let's talk about why most even opposed age vacation laws in California. Here, so there's no evidence of the CBO opposing California's age vacation laws. While the contents of the California's age vacation law will be affecting some Linux situations, it does not. Done with Steve Hilton's considers the issue, which is a regulation. So he suggests banning smartphone ownership under age of 16, but it's anti-tech. Yeah, that is something. already talked about, but yeah, his campaign about parental rights is school is for taking regarding sex and digital, but its border California prioritizes organizations such as the also the digital age verification rather than digital age verification. Yeah, I understand about that. This California agenda, yeah. But these are my only voting for him because he needs to lead the fight. Yeah, I think Steve Hilton needs to lead the fight against digital ID, and that's probably what Steve Hilton needs to do for California. And that's what I want from Steve Hilton anyway. Because I know that Xavier Becerra won't do it. He will have full support of digital ID instead. So that's why we need Steve Hilton to do it. And look, I know that Steve Hilton's from the UK, and now he's running for governor. And yeah, he's a legal immigrant, not an illegal immigrant, and that's why. So. Oh, let me close this. Okay, so you can watch my How to Go to Heaven video on Rumble, or BitChute anyway. And you can also go to badinternetbills.com to find against age verification anyway in the US. But I believe in my next video I'll be talking about the Texas App Store. And yeah, you can help. Yes, on Reform California, you can help on the California Gay Initiative right here. You can help on the voting process of California on reformcalifornia.org. That's straight from Carl DeMille anyway. And you can fight against age vacation on betternetbills.com. Anyway, so. Let me go back to my YouTube channel so that way you can know. So yeah, I always say, please sign this survey if you don't live in the UK, and that's it anyway. And go back and go to internet and go to badinternetbills.com if you want to fight against the age verification laws in the US. All right. I think my next video, I'm gonna be talking about the Texas App Store Accountability Act, because I'll be talking it's a law that got signed to law in Texas. I'm gonna have to talk about that law soon, because I don't like that. I'll talk about why it's not good for Texas to have that law anyway. Well, not good for any state to have that law anyway. But I'll talk about Texas having it next video. You know the App Store Accountability Act. Well, I haven't made a video about that yet, but I'll talk about that next video because it needs to get exposed anyway, and I will expose it next video anyway. But at least I'm exposing this thing. UK ruining YouTube and all that. I don't like that at all. It needs to get stopped before any other countries do it. So yeah, sign this survey, and if you want, and to stop this anyway. But I have to go right now. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed, saying goodbye. Adios. And Zaijian.